Here we go.
All right. Greetings, everyone. This is Antoinette Ruth's daughter coming to you live from Portland. And we are now, we're bringing about and discussing why we came up to Portland, discussing Black Lives Matter, hearing from the brothers here in Portland, and discussing how we're moving forward, past the protest, along with the protests as well, too. So I think, Pato, you want to say a couple words before I actually start to do this video?
Yeah, I just want to say that, since Antoinette has got involved with Wall of Moms International, we've been in a constant communications with our brothers and sisters of Portland, Oregon, of all different races. The thing that we have in common is the issue of justice, racial equality, and the ending of police brutality, So it's been a really great journey. Of course, there are different people.
Sorry.
There are different people in Portland with different views. Some people believe in peaceful protesting, or not peaceful, I should say, non-violent protesting. And some believe in other alternative ways of protesting. For me and Antoinette and for Wall of Moms International, our stance has been very firmly towards non-violent protesting. We're not telling anyone else how to do what they want to do. But based on what we've seen so far, we believe that the fruits are much more beneficial when you maintain a non-violent attitude. Mm-hmm. So that's our stance, and we have come to Portland to find other people who are like-minded, who see things in a similar way. It doesn't have to be exact, but in a similar way. And we want to support those voices. We want to support those people, and we want to work on alignments and partnerships with different people who want to work with us. So that's why we're here. And, we've seen the rise and deterioration of some of the protests in Portland. And I think the weather right now, the fires in Oregon have kind of put a pause on a lot of activities that different people wanted to be involved in right now. So this is a time for people to pause and think and reflect and see how we can come together as a community and improve discussions with the people who are responsible, improve discussions with, I feel personally that we should be talking to the police department, we should be talking to the mayor, we should be talking to DA, we should be talking to anyone that can change the rules, regulations, and laws that can improve the relationship between the police department and the community, especially the Black community. So this has been going on for a long, long time. And I'd like to share a video called Black Lives Matter 2, a video I recently made, which kind of gives us the background to what's led up to where we are today. And if Antoinette wants to share that with you, I'll be happy to share it.
All right, then. Oops, no, that's not it. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and flip the screen over for them too.
Mm-hmm.
For them, for the streamers. Right. Oops. All right, there we go.
Ooh.
But have you seen what my people are going through? All lives matter. From slavery to right now, this ain't nothing new. All lives matter. You see, black people face the worst persecution, and you know it's true. All lives matter. But remember that black lives matter too. Yes, black lives matter. Some say they don't see color. Well, they must be colorblind. I see real prejudice all the time. See hate in the eyes of a racist mind, and suffer injustice with a plastic smile. See yellow tapes and signs saying don't cross the line. Another brother just died without a proven crime. Oh Jah, this world can be so unkind, and life can be bitter like a glass of lime. So many conversations are a waste of time, like throwing your pearls before a bunch of swine. Genuine people can be so hard to find, especially when you're living on the front line. We know that all lives matter, but remember that black lives matter too. So you wanna make America great again? Please tell me when, with your long history of genocide, a trail of blood that you just can't hide, the murder and rape of all native tribes, so many years of slavery, a wicked crime. Oh Jah, it still blows my conscious mind. Slavery, sharecropping, and then Jim Crow. You always tear us down every time we try to grow. Yes, Martin Luther paid the greatest price for peacefully fighting for our civil rights. Now how many more must we sacrifice? Emmett Till, Timmy Rice, Eric Garner cried, I can't breathe. 11 times, 76 bullets took Jamarion's life. Nearly 9 minutes on the neck of George Floyd. Lord, I can still hear my brother's cries. We know that all lives matter, but remember that black lives matter too. Mix me now. We got racist police not afraid to show it, and prejudiced people who don't even know it. Every time we tell them that black lives matter, you should see the temperature getting hotter. Then here they come with a bag of chitter chatter, telling us again that all lives matter. But when you check out the national data, it's mostly black people getting better, killed or in jail for the simplest of matter. Fatherless families shattered and scattered. They make the most nice when Kaepernick takes a knee, but not a song when we die innocently. They call this the home of the brave, land of the free. 50 years before the end of slavery, but the whole world sees brutality. The Confederate flags and hypocrisy. Never too late if we truly believe what we can see. We will achieve together as a family. We know that all lives matter, but remember that black lives matter too. Lives matter too. You got to remember that black lives matter. Black lives matter too. Yeah, black lives matter.
Okay. All right. So that was. Let me go ahead and stop that.
It's charging.
All right. All right. So let me just stop that.
So you want to bring up the next person?
All right. No. So before, there's a couple things I wanted to ask you, Pato.
All right.
Let me just bring this into gallery view. As far as like, where do you see, like, as far as Black Lives Matter, what are the reasons like why you created the song in the first place, and the other songs that you continue, because you've always been kind of like a social advocate for a lot of different things, but through the years, because you had songs about like Handsworth riots,
Apartheid,
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, with South Africa back in the 80s, and then moving forward into now, we're all about the unity in the community, Unity Earth and all the spiritual interfaith types of work, but now we're actually getting focused on Black Lives Matter. And as a Black man, like, you're speaking to a lot of other different people who are not understanding, like, how are your personal feelings as being like positive, being respectful, being tactful, being tolerant, and still maintaining, the righteous indignation and the anger, like, as a Black person living today here in America.
Well, for me personally, answering the first question, the reason why I made the video is because I was kind of tired of every time we say Black Lives Matter, people keep saying all lives matter. And the reality of the history of Black people in America is that our lives have never mattered. We came here as prisoners. We were kidnapped or bought from Africa. We came here as slaves. We've invested into America's wealth and infrastructure, and we haven't been compensated for what we have contributed. So our, from slavery to Jim Crow to, to the history of Blacks in America, you can see that we've always been persecuted. We've always been the underdog, and we haven't been given a fair chance to get a start in this life in America. So the police brutality is just that we're seeing today has been going on for years. It's just that it has never been televised. It has never been filmed. And now that everyone has cell phones, we can document. Even when the news stations are quiet, the average person on the street can film what's going on and put it up on social media. So our news is coming from all forms of different sources now for the first time in the history of humanity. So for me as a Black man, I suffer racism. I've suffered with it all my life. I'm still suffering from it today. I'm not angry anymore because I recognize what it is. And I realize that the solution lies within our society to stand up and demand a change. And it can't just be Black people standing up asking for a change. We need people of every race, especially white people, to stand beside us. And I said beside us, not in front of us, not behind us, but beside us, so that we can become a force to be reckoned with and demand change. And I do believe that people do have to have a dialogue with the police department. They do have to have a dialogue with anyone that sits in a position of authority that can bring about laws and changes to the situation. So no, I'm not angry. I know that racism is natural, but the type of brutality that we're seeing is unnatural. It's wrong. And that needs to change right now as soon as possible. And, I don't see any change immediately. More lives will have to be lost, unfortunately, but we can make a start now. And it's global, it's globally recognized, and people have had enough.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Pato. And because we are international, so Walla Moms is Walla Moms International, Black Lives Matter worldwide. As we had our conversation earlier today with Bridging the Divide, with the women who are suffering from lightism and racism within the Asian culture of the skin bleaching. This is a very serious matter. But the reason why we came up to Portland was because of the protests and seeing like the stance that these women were actually taking beyond and saying, you know, we're willing to put our bodies on the line to protect Black life. You know, so there's a lot of ways that we can actually protect Black life. And we're about to get into that because I want you guys to see and meet the people here, the voices of the Black people in Portland, and especially for the men. You know, we're hearing from a lot of different people, the children, the women, and the different organizations. But, you know, listening to the regular voices and the people who are trying to do something within Portland can also set a standard on how we can do things nationally and internationally as well, too.
Yeah.
So as we get ready for them, I'm going to go ahead and share you the next video here of, this is the second piece that you actually did, which is Stand Up for Justice.
Yeah.
And I think when you did this song, you actually wrote the song while we were protesting. Isn't that how it came about? Or
yeah,
you tell me?
It was, we had some protests in our own city of Lake Elsinore, California. And during the protests, when we went to the protest, we wasn't even planning to be involved. We just went there to film it for our community so that they could see that no one was trying to break anyone's businesses or damage any property. It was a daytime protest. But when we got there, the organizers for the protest were nowhere to be found. So eventually it ended up falling into our laps to lead a protest that we didn't organize, but we kept it peaceful, we kept it nonviolent, and it was a great experience for the families. And when we got back home, we heard that another young man was from a second protest. So he actually contacted us and asked us to be involved. Also, the sheriff's department, the lieutenant, contacted us and asked us if we would be involved because they were observing how we handled the first protest. So we did the second protest, and during that protest, I started chanting on the loudspeaker, "Stand Up for Justice." And everyone was singing this song with me, and they actually asked me to record it when I got home. So this song was written for the people at our second protest and dedicated to people all over the world, especially dedicated to Elijah McClain, who lost his life unnecessarily.
I also want to point out, because as a Black man, you were also arrested and charged with a crime you didn't commit, and you were also spent time in prison because they beat the crap out of you and made you confess to something that you didn't actually do. So you served time in prison. So you have your own personal feeling with the police, but also at the same time when you participated in the Handsworth riots in 1981. But even after that, while you were traveling and touring the world with Sting on his private jet, you're in South Africa, 2 of your sons get shot, you know, in a drive-by shooting, and that made you quit your own career. You know, at this point, you would be like a millionaire just traveling the world with Sting and the police and doing whatever, but you went back home and you worked with the police for 6 years, taking off your entire career and reducing the gun crime, because I read it from the BBC that they gave you a Lifetime Achievement Award for reducing gun crime within your community. So this is like, so besides fighting like the neo-Nazis and the white racists in the UK, and then you have the Popo in the UK that you have to deal with, and then you're actually working with them because you actually have to help the youth of your own community. So kudos on that. That's really impressive.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah, you know, there's many different ways that we can approach change, you know. When my 2 boys got shot, you know, that was from Black on Black crime. And I decided that I needed to do something as a Black man in my own community. I was traveling around the world doing stuff for poor communities in Singapore, Malaysia, you know, Canary Islands, South Africa, Australia, and across America, but I didn't have any time to do anything for my own people. So when this happened to my boys, it hit home that here you are traveling the world doing all this stuff, but what did you do for your own community? So I went back home and I decided that I wanted to help kids get off the streets. And I ended up setting up a music school. I ended up going back to school and became the head of the music department of my local college. I became assistant director of creative studies at the arts center of my city. I actually got a job for my city to work in the most poorest, roughest neighborhoods. And then the police approached me to help reduce gun crime and approach gangs and give them opportunities. And I did that for, I did all of this in a 6-year period. And at the end of the 6-year period, the BBC invited me to the city center and gave me a Lifetime Achievement Award because they said that they had done research that had showed that the gun crime had been reduced by 50% since we started the project. So, you know, there's good police and there's bad police. There's good black people and there's bad black people. There's good white people and there's bad white people. You know, there's good and bad everywhere. And that's why we came to Portland, to align with good people, black, white, yellow, red, brown, Hindu, Buddhist, Christian, Rasta. No matter what you believe, no matter what your political side is, we don't care. We want to align with good people so we can fight a good fight against evil and against wickedness in high and low places.
All right. Wait till you hear his feedback.
Respect. So this next song is called Stand Up for Justice.
Stand up for justice.
And to all of my white friends around the world, it's no longer good enough to not be a racist. We need all of you now to be anti-racist. Everybody. It's no longer good enough to be a good person. You must be anti-evil, anti-wickedness, anti-badness. And the same thing with my friends in the police department. It's no longer to be a good cop. You must be anti-bad cop. That's the only way we're going to change the situation.
Amen. Thank you. All right. So here it is. This is Stand Up for Justice. All right.
Justice, stand up for justice, stand up for justice, stand up for justice, stand up strong, and stand up now, and stand up now, stand up for justice, stand up for justice, stand up for justice, stand up for justice, stand up strong, and stand up now, and stand up now. I'm tired of the ALM against the BLM. Tired of the attitude of us against them. Tired of the tensions between black and white. Tired of debating when we know wrong from right. Pro-vax, anti-vax, pro-choice, pro-life, pro-mask, anti-mask. There's so much strife. Democrat, Republican, atheist and Christian. The darkness against your light. I'm tired of the fallacy of white supremacy. Tired of the sickening police brutality. I hear the people crying out for more accountability. Lord, enough is enough now. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up strong. Stand up strong. And stand up now. And stand up now. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up strong. Stand up strong. And stand up now. And stand up now. Hey yo, what do we want? Justice. When do we want it now? What do we want? Justice. When do we want it now? Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No racist police. All lives matter when black lives matter. Yes, all lives matter when black lives matter.
Elijah was walking to the store one night to get something for his younger brother. He had his ski mask on, probably was so hopeful for the next day.
Stop. I have a right to stop you because you're being suspicious.
They dosed the 140-pound Elijah with ketamine, a powerful sedative. Elijah had a heart attack. He was rushed to the hospital and put on life support. Eventually, doctors declared him brain dead. 3 days later, he was taken off life support.
Yearly. Thank God for video full so we can see clearly. Black people get it worse, yes, most severely. We pray for the day we can be treated fairly. When crooked cuckoo cop turn off their body camera, killing innocent people all across America, playing judge, jury, and executioner. They live above the law and get away with murder. We need justice against police brutality. It's time for the people to police the police. We need justice in our judicial system. Modern day slavery in our private prisons. We need justice for those on death row who are innocent. We need to save them now. We need justice for those on death row who are innocent. We need to save them now. We need justice against the Ku Klux Klan. It's time to stop domestic terrorism. We need justice for all the children caged up in our immigration system. We need justice for all the boys and girls who are being sex trafficked all over the world. We need justice for every family who suffer in the system of inequality. We need justice, yes, for each and every one. Together we are strong, come on, and stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up strong. Stand up strong. And stand up now. And stand up now. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up strong. Stand up strong. And stand up now. And stand up now. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up strong. Stand up strong. And stand up now. And stand up now. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up strong. Stand up strong. And stand up now. And stand up together united for a change in the United States of America and around the world. Wherever there is injustice, we need a change. What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it?
Thank you for letting us have a safe day on this protest. And please bless all the parents that brought all their children out here to learn that Black Lives Matter and that we have to fix this or else it'll just keep on going. And just thank you for everyone that came out here with tons of compassion and everything. And amen.
Amen. All right. Amen. All right then. So that was heavy, right? Thank you. All right. Let me just stop this. Cancel. Stop share. All right. So, deep breath. Right. Okay. So that was Stand Up for Justice. Pato, quiet on the set. All right, quiet on the set, guys. We're gonna give you guys all your time and quietness and everything else like that. So right now, up on stage right now, I have my brother Chris Odom. This guy is so amazing. See, we got our matching shirts and everything. This is Black community of Portland. I said we came up to Portland because we want to find and amplify these Black voices here in Portland. So Thursday, we flew up here on Tuesday, Wednesday, somewhere around there, Pato, right?
We flew up on Tuesday.
We flew up on Tuesday, and then as we came in, yeah, go ahead, join in there, get in there. All right.
My brother.
That's right.
I'm telling
Right.
you, this is really good because
come on,
Chris
man.
put Pato to work. So Black community of Portland, what does Black community of Portland do? I know what we did on Thursday. So Idris, I know you walking around and everything. I know you're going to be committing yourself every week, and Heather and whoever can actually make it. This is where we need bodies. You know, so a lot of you guys sat there and said, how can I help Black people in Portland? Well, I'm about to tell you, how can you help?
Yeah, you have to come forward a bit more.
That's right. That's
Project
right.
your
Right.
voice.
Oh, projected. Okay. So, Black Community of Portland. Black Community of Portland is a community-based organization with a focal point of community development through networking and the sharing of resources. We try to put an emphasis on not recreating the wheel, but we do want to feel the need where we see it. So we put a lot of effort into working with other nonprofit organizations that are Black-led, such as Black Food Sovereignty Council, Beyond Black, Play, Grow, Learn, Beam, REAP, and a handful of others. Over the last, I would say, 17 weeks, we've been delivering 125 food boxes to low-income families in Southeast Portland, finding more Black community members every week. Tomorrow, we're going to be delivering hot meals in partnership with Feed the Mass, led by Jacobson Valentine. We're going to be delivering 100 hot meals to homeless individuals downtown, as well as those who suffer from substance abuse. And in addition to that, tomorrow we're going to be hosting a financial literacy workshop. So we got a lot of stuff going on. Prior to COVID, we had community meetings once a month, every month for the Black community. It was a chance for us to network and build with one another, learn from different professionals, and just eat together, relax, have our kids meet each other. It was a safe space for us. And we're working on expanding out and making our meetings bigger. And then COVID hit. So in 2021, we plan on doing it again as soon as the restrictions have died down. But until then, we're gonna continue leading our financial literacy program. We hope to make this a quarterly thing. So in 2021, we hope to offer the financial literacy workshops every 3 months for 5 weeks, in addition to supporting Black businesses and helping Black community members identify their own financial goals and incentivize them to achieve those goals.
Boom.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Right?
Boots on the ground,
Hey,
y'all.
you know something? He's only a few years younger, a few years older than my daughter. It's like, look at him go. I interviewed his son today as well, too. He's 10 years old. So a lot of 10-year-olds out there, a lot of you guys who, you know, who are parents and you have children. Can you imagine? It's like putting your child to work. Your child, you know, actually said that was his way to spend time with his father because he saw you out there working. He felt that he's like, instead of me just staying home while you go out there and work and serve the community, let me help you with the work that you're actually doing. So he's the secretary for the Black community of Portland. And, you know, he's just an amazing young man. He's got total respect. He doesn't roll his eyes.
That's right.
You know, there's no eye rolling. There's no disrespect. He's very respectful. He's very quiet. He doesn't beg. He doesn't whine. He doesn't, you know, it's like, it's amazing because I see so many bad kids. It's like, oh my God, you know, please take your child somewhere and do something with them. But he's very respectful. And what he's doing is like, you're setting an example for your own son and for your own child. And as long as you're being a positive role model, because I don't think anybody really under 30 is like doing so much, you know, it's like, I'm looking at like, you know, the besides the music, but our Black men, our Black brothers, it's like, how are we actually going to sit there and move forward into the future? And if we want people to sit there and come and support us in what we're actually doing, we have to do something that's positive,
Right.
you know? So I've never even heard you like cussing, you know, or doing anything, you know, not that cussing is a big deal, but, you know, but for some people, but at least the example that you want to set for your child. And when people say they want to help Black lives, you know, this is really important. And this is why we're doing this and why we're up here in Portland, because I've heard a lot of you sit there and say, I want to support Black lives. You know, however I can sit there and support Black lives. Well, this is one of the ways that you can actually support Black lives. So if you know, for the women who did come out in Thursday, it was a lot of work. Trust me, 140 boxes. It was fun, you know, because my friend Dak, she said she had a great time.
Yeah.
She drove all the way up from Tualatin or Tualatin, wherever it is, Thule. That place was far, but she was like, she goes, I really can't wait to get out there. And she herself, you know, she's suffering from her own medical conditions, but she's young. She's like, I really want to do something. And what the work that I do, I want it to be meaningful. So if you want to do something that's meaningful, you know, so being out in the streets and protesting and being vocal is one way, but we also have another way too. Help the Black community within, you know, join in within the system, you know, the food box program, you know, for Black and BIPOC. And it's amazing because they're like, here's Black people coming into a neighborhood. This must have shocked some people. They're like, we're coming into a neighborhood and we're helping people who are not even of the same color. You know, we're helping other races.
Yeah.
We're even though we're wearing Black, it's like we're not threatening. And she said that the department manager was so thrilled and so excited. He's like, I can't believe you came here and did something positive, did something well. So it's like, so now we have a different image. So now we have the financial literacy program, we have the food boxes. The end goal and game is to do your community plot and community areas as well too. That's your long-term goals, right?
Yes, I kind of had that in my back pocket, but since you brought it out, oh yes, one of our major, the vision, I would say, outside of getting the blueprint right in Portland and expanding out to other major cities like Vancouver and Seattle, we want to own land. We want to own property. We want to have control over our own destiny. So that's the next major move for us, is to own property and either rent it out for very low cost to, you know, single parent households, so they could get their transportation order, get their credit right, get their savings together. You know, something like a 3-bedroom house for like $400, something like that. And the $400 would just help us maintain the taxes and any maintenance and things like that, and the property management. But yeah, our goal is to own property, rent it out to our people for very low cost, so that they could join a home ownership program, get into an IDA match savings program, and within, you know, 12 to 24 months be able to move into their own home.
Wonderful. So as we came up here, the WAMI support team has come together and we help him to set up his Patreon. So we're going to be sharing that within the group regularly. So if you can't come out there and like lift, you know, Idris, I'm going to be calling on you. You make sure you get up all your homies and everything, because that's a lot of boxes and it's pretty heavy. Nearly gave Pato a heart attack that day because it was hot and smoky and everything.
Oh yeah, it was rough.
It was rough.
It was rough. No days off though. Every Thursday.
It was rough. And then, you know, like Patricia who came out and Heather who came out, it's like, even if you guys drive the vehicles, can we load up your cars and put these boxes within your cars? We could use the drivers. We could use people to sit there and donate gas cards for all the volunteers, because they're all volunteers. Right. And if you can't do anything else, can you give $3 a month to his organization?
Goes a long way.
Can we give $3 a month? We got so many people up in here. We can sit there and fund this up together. And this is not just within Portland, but from everybody else who's tuning in and watching in as well too. Can we help this brother out, help our people out? If Black Lives Matter to you, this is something that you can actually do, and we will sit there and handle it, and we'll get it together. And we're going to sit there and bring all the people in together, all our resources, because Walla Moms International is also weapons of mass instruction. This is where we're bringing the knowledge. We're going to sit there, bring the people together. We are a social organization, and we are about our people. We want to sit there and help each other out. So thank you, Chris. And we're definitely going to be on that. Black Me. Oh, you have a question?
I have a question.
Yes.
From Facebook Live.
All right.
They want to know, Chris, are you wanting all Black people to volunteer, or are you good with white people volunteering as well for your organization?
There's multiple areas that we need volunteers for. So I would say that all who are willing to volunteer are welcome. There's different opportunities though, based on an initiative. So whereas it would be our Black community meeting, we wouldn't need any volunteers there, but something like our food box program, even if you aren't an able-bodied person, you can still come in and get on the keyboard or get on the computer and type up some messages, hit up New Seasons, hit up Natural Grocers, and ask them for food donations so that we could carry this on to 2021 and make this more lasting and sustainable. You know, so you don't even have to be physically there to volunteer. If you want to be there in person to volunteer, that's cool, that's dope. But if you live in, what do you call it, Tualatin? Tualatin. If you live in Tualatin and, you know, you just ain't got it like that to make it all the way out there to Southeast Portland, hit us up, blackcommunityofportland@gmail.com. Send us an email, let us know you want to volunteer. Hit up some of these food banks, ask them if they have any donations that they could consistently donate on a regular basis. You know, hit up some of these financial institutions, ask them, do they have any giving projects that we would be eligible for? We also, outside of the food and the financial literacy, we also have an education program that we want to get up and running again. It's called Little Africa Education and Empowerment. We want to help young Black kids with life skills, leadership skills, academic assistance, Black history, learn a little bit of Swahili.
Amen. That's right.
And just get them. All right. So yeah, we just want to get them out in the outdoors, and you know, with enough money, maybe take them swimming, hiking, biking, going out to OMSI or Wild Ways. Get them more experiences that they could, you know, take with them as they grow older and cherish and share with their siblings. So it's more than just, you know, a food program. It's more than just a financial literacy program. This is something that we've been pushing for the last, I would say, 4 or 5 years, just out of pocket for the most part. We get funding here and there, but a lot of it's just out of the passion and consistency and dedication from our volunteers. So if you believe in a cause, please, you know, hit up that, what is it, Patreon, and, you know, even $5 a month will go a long way if enough people contribute.
And I want to be clear again, because I've been clear about I thought I've been clear before, but I want to be clear again. Walla Moms International, we are under Black leadership. Chris is one of my admins and moderators within the group, as well as Alexandra and Amanda and Angela, who are 3 Black women who also live here in Portland. The other women are also Black women who live in California, and we're reaching out through all over the place that we are. But we are an organization that depends on the help of everybody actually being involved. So even though we are Black leadership, we have white people working with us. You know, we got Liz, we got Heather, we got Brian, we have all kinds of different people because we need them. I am not refusing no help from anybody, period. I don't care what color you are. You can bring your dogs and you can bring your cats, because I've seen cats for Black Lives Matter. I don't care whatever you want to bring to the table. We have got to bring this for Black Lives Matter, that we are working. It's not us against them. It's everyone against racism. So if you mean what you say and you say what you mean, then bring your body to the table, you know, bring your money to the table. Can I, yes, please. Can we get something? Because this is what we're talking about. Why do everybody keep talking to me in this private group? Don't talk to me in this private group about what we already know. We're preaching to the choir at this point. Now we actually have to get out there and become involved. So this is just one of the voices. This is just one of the voices that we're actually hearing from in Portland, and he's telling you what he needs. So if you want to sit there and support Black lives, then you support him. You support his organization. You support the Black men, women, and children who are collectively working towards a better future and a brighter day. All right, then. Who's next on the hot seat? Idris, come on, yeah, we'll drop that. We're gonna drop all of that in there. So you guys stay tuned. We're gonna sit there and put that all within the feed. So whoever's on the feed, please drop the websites and everything else like that. Hot seat, Idris. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Love you, bro. All right. So yeah, you're in the hot seat. Come on. Where's your
You in the hot seat
Elijah too? Come on.
You in the hot seat too.
Elijah, all right. Where's the brothers? All right. Now we're bringing out some more because you said you wanted some Black voices, right? You said you wanted to hear some from Black people, and now we have some Black voices. All right. Here's the hot seat. Now we have Idris, and what's your name?
Marcus Evans.
Marcus Evans. And your organization, what's the name of your organization?
So it's AFTER, which is the acronym stands for Aim for Total Equality Revolution. It's AFTER for the acronym. We like that name because we're trying to be what comes after the storm, after the protest,
right?
After the protest, after
okay.
all the devastation and all that stuff. We're trying to be what comes after, kind of like the rain after the storm, kind of like the rain after the fire. Put out the fire and bring new life to the city.
Go ahead.
So yeah, so that's what we're here to do. So this is Idris Phillips, Marcus Evans, founder of AFTER. That's what we're trying to do here. You know, there's a bunch of stuff, of course, out here in Portland that's been kind of devastating as far as this protest goes. We don't want the revolution to kind of be askew. We don't want it to go in the wrong direction, and we want it to stay centered around positivity and progression.
Thank you. I love that. There was something that you told me the other night, Idris, and I really want you to tell our viewers here what you told me the other night when you got shot with the rubber bullets. I want people to sit there and hear this because it's like, dude, break it down for us, that sit there and let us know, because we're sitting there saying it's like, are we going to do this? Are we going to do that? Or how are we going to do this? And what are the effects because of what we're doing?
Okay, well, I came out here, I came out to the protest at the time, and I saw a lot of chaotic stuff going on. I saw somebody trying to pry the wood off a building, which they call the federal building. It's a courthouse. So I thought it was empty. So I thought I see him prying this wood off, and I walk up to the gentleman that was doing it, this white gentleman that was doing it, and I was like, sir, what are you doing? He was like, we're going inside. We're all going inside. And then he continued to pry the wood off. And then as he was prying the wood off, I said, well, what are you going to do when you get inside? And then that's when the wood fell down, boom, boom. And then he threw a mortar, which is a giant firework through a broken part of the window. And I turned my head in fear, thinking that I was going to get blowback from the glass. Well, no, it never went off. But when I looked back to see what was going on, there was guns pointing out the hole, and I got shot with rubber bullets. And then I got hit with a tear gas canister in the back of the head while I was running. I put myself in that situation because I was in an area I've never been in before. That type of chaos. I didn't know what was going on. So I put myself in that situation for me to get hit like that. But I was very angered by it. They blamed the police for shooting me. But I look at the whole issue at hand. Yes, the police shot me, but the ripple effects of somebody else's behaviors, it turned on me. Right. So I didn't blame the police for shooting me at all. I was looking at what caused these people to come out and start shooting, and I was like, I was really angered by it. I was very mad about it, and then they're running around stamping Black Lives Matter on breaking a window, Black Lives Matter, beating up somebody, Black Lives Matter, spitting in my face, Black Lives Matter, catching me on fire, Black Lives Matter. Well, I feel enough is enough, because if I'm a Black life that matter, why would you do that to me?
Amen.
Why would you do that to me?
Exactly.
Why wouldn't you ask me what I want? Why wouldn't you ask me what I need?
It's all right.
It's all right.
It's all right.
It really isn't cool It took 400 years just to get the voices that we have, what little voice that we have now, to go backwards and to not even be able to say hello to somebody without them cringing, wondering what I'm going to do when I'm not the one that's doing all the damage. It's sad. It's sad. You know, I got kids. And it's real sad that they would do this to my people. You know, you need to ask us what we want. Ask us what we want. Ask us what we need. Don't have your own agenda and go out there and do what you want to do because you want to be a part of whatever you're doing. And it just shows that we don't really matter. It doesn't. I don't feel like we really matter when you go in with your own agenda. But you know, communication is the key for me. You know, I come from a hard, dark place, so I get it. You know, I get it. I'm just like, enough is enough, and I'm trying to do the next positive thing. That's it. I'm just trying to have integrity today. I'm trying to stay clean and sober. You know, I'm in recovery, so I mean, it's hard to stay in recovery when you have a lot of resentment. So I try not to have that. But I am angered by what's going on, and I'm not saying it. I don't like want to tell nobody how to protest or anything like that. I'm not trying to do that. But I'm telling you what I need from people is to maybe ask what we need instead of taking it in on your own to come in there and do what you want to do. Because I'm not going to tell you to go throw a rock through a window. I'm not going to go tell you to go beat up I'm not going to tell you go beat up somebody or anything like that. I'm not going to tell you go do that. And that's a lot of things that's happening. We're being easily manipulated, and they turned the Black Lives Movement into a stamp of destruction, and I want it back. I want it back.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And I do want to hear you guys more of your thoughts on this, because this is really, it's you know, when you told me this story the other day, and I just felt your pain and frustration. That was the reason why Potts and I went out there and did our own protest with these people, because we said, we're not going to allow, it's like, if you guys break anything around here, they ain't coming after you. They ain't coming after you. They coming after us, the 5, 10, 20 Black people who actually live here, which there ain't that many of us, but there's hundreds of them actually protesting on our behalf. But if you're going to protest on our behalf, you should ask us, what do we want and what do we need? But we need you to show up. We need you to turn up, and we need you to be involved. And we just told you, you know, as we spoke with Chris earlier, this is how you can actually help Black lives. Can you help us in these ways? You know, I don't need you to break down any buildings. I don't need you to set things. Of course I'm mad. Of course I'm angry. You know, it's like 90-something% of my encounters with the police have been very, very bad and negative. But few times I was like, phew, you know, you're sitting there saying, when you're actually thanking the officer, it's like, thank you, officer. It's like, thank you for not beating me up and killing me today and arresting me and taking me, you know, it's like, that shouldn't even be like a question or a thing. But at least if we can start to come together and bring a little bit of unity, and I think, I said it's a godsend, you know, even though we have the fires and we're not out there doing our thing like how we actually want to do it, it's been a godsend, and it's been a blessing just for us to meet you. You know, for me and Pato to come up here and to meet you and to meet Chris and to see, like, here's the other Black voices in Portland that the world is not actually hearing. They're not seeing and they're not hearing. And Chris told me earlier, it's a block or two. This is a huge city. Everything else, you know, you got people out here drinking wine on the streets and going into the museums and doing all sorts of stuff. So what they're seeing in Portland is just one little aspect, but we're showing you another side, and also how the Black people feel within this side. Now, yes, brother, as far as like, you see, you know, like, how long do you think the protests are actually going to continue here in Portland? And if you do want them to continue or not continue, how do you want to sit there and move forward as like, how are we moving the Black community forward? How can white people here, which is very liberal, sometimes white liberals are harder than white conservatives because they ain't listening. You know?
Well, what I see, and what I see out here is, you know, one thing that like the young man was saying is that, you know, strength and contentment and love and passion is always going to be stronger than negativity and anger and chaos, correct?
Mhm.
And so, just on my behalf, since I've been out there at the protests, I stood alone before I met Idris. I was out there alone, standing alone with this one rag, casting blessings everywhere I went.
Mm.
I walked the line between thousands of angry protesters and hundreds of trigger-happy police, casting blessings the whole time, making sure I could create some sort of division. Infinite blessings, thank you, infinite blessings. But making sure, right, making sure I can keep division between protesters and police so people don't get hurt, right? So, and that shows, and I'm one man, and I was able to do that against thousands of people. Was not accosted by the police or by the protesters. The only time I was jumped sorely, this is a sore fact. The only time that I've been jumped twice out there. Only time that happened to me it was done by young people who I'm out here fighting for. My wife got stabbed in the eye one time being jumped, and that shows that the power and compassion that didn't defeat us. We still went out there and did that. So to answer your question, what do I think that we can do to move forward from here? It's continue that heartbeat of strength, right? Continue that pressure on evil, and continue the motivation and locomotion of love, positivity, and passion, and evolution over all this. That's the best thing that can come from this. That's the most ideal thing that can come from this is evolution. This could be the most powerful generation there is among all people, because this could actually be the time that we can come together and push for change. Okay. And now, blessings, infinite blessings. But right now we have more support from the white community than we've had before. But we also have, but with that comes the potential of the worst enemy snaking into the garden, right? And messing up all that we have grown. Okay. And that's going to come from people who's not truly fighting for what we're fighting for. That like we were stating, my man was caught on fire, was shot at by the police. I've been jumped twice out there. My girl got stabbed in her eye. All that is the one thing that can bring this down. But one thing that you have to do, as we all do, as a soldier of peace, is stay strong and stay content. That's the whole thing. Contentment is the best thing you can have when you're secure in what you believe in. As long as what you believe in is the same thing that most people, we can get everyone to believe in, which is positivity, love, and evolution. So what we're doing with After is we're doing what a lot of nonprofits and a lot of organizations out here are doing. That's why we're coming together for it. And it's the growth of bring back the beauty of Portland. Okay, bring back the beauty of people, and and especially the people of color. Okay, and we have to, we're helping people bring back businesses, trying to help our youth out, everything that, we all kind of share the same goals. And so that's why we need everyone's support. That's why we need everyone to watch. We need you to like and share these videos so you guys can see an example of something. Black excellence, I'm going to say this now, because I feel like this is most important of everything. Black excellence is more important now than it's ever been. Okay, because right now this is the time we're living in, and we're given the chance, we're given the microphone, just like this young lady's doing for us now. She's giving us the microphone to speak, and we're trying to represent ourselves and people of color in the highest light ever. We're trying to give white people the best example to stand behind. Okay, Black excellence, people of color, excellence among people is the most important thing right now. Okay, we cannot fit into any stereotype. The stereotype is what they use to bring us down. Okay, so we got to make sure that we step out of our comfort zone and put our best foot forward. It's the only way we're going to do it. It's the only way it's going to give us a change. It's the only way you're going to get the support of everybody. Okay, and I think the universal love, the universal passion for change is what's happening right now. You see it across the world. You see demonstrations across the world right now. So we got to make sure that we don't all have to demonstrate the same way. We don't all have to protest the same way. But as far as what we have in our mind for a future, for tomorrow, for the grass to grow a little greener tomorrow, it's going to take excellence. Excellent, you guys. And once again, infinite blessings. I've used this cloth as an AK-47, meaning this has protected me. This has protected me. This little cotton cloth has protected me.
Never been hit.
Never been hit. Never been hit by one police officer's rubber bullet or real bullet or baton or pepper spray mace, none of that. Never got hit by any of the BLM's shields, whatever, none of that. Okay. And that's what gave me, I feel like that's what drove me to this gentleman here. Okay, and we've held the line, we've held the fence up before. I know you guys have peeped Portland and seen how they ripped down that fence when the feds was out here. Me and him, we held that fence for a long time. Okay, that's what I'm saying. The strength of few can outweigh the cowardness of most. Okay, I want y'all to know that the strength of few can outweigh it. We've done it many times before. We're going to do it many times again. We're doing it right now. And thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yeah, this is not the last opportunity.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
gonna do this many more times and everything,
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
like I said, these are the voices that we are not hearing and it's not being amplified.
Right.
So it's like, yes, folks, take a listen to what these brothers are trying to tell you.
Yeah.
Because their lives matter.
Yeah.
Their lives matter. And since your lives matter so much and everything, I think you have some music for us as well too. So yes, all right. Elijah, where's Elijah? All right, come on. Isn't it? Aren't you doing the rap song? Aren't you guys doing the song? All right, yeah. Okay then.
Can I tell them something about my program?
Please, yes. All right.
Please do. Please
So,
do.
All right. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. So,
Okay,
Idris, tell
so-
them about your program.
All right. So we got after, and our after is it's an outreach program to help people learn about how to start your own business, how to give back to your community, different type of landlord tenant laws that will teach you, and that's his part.
Etiquette training, all that.
Yeah, that's
training
his
for
part.
the young youth, like the young other gentleman was talking about. We're going to be bringing different types of knowledge and education to the young youth. We're going to be doing our best to help local businesses get back to the place that they were, and help our people of color start local businesses as well. We're going to try and excuse me, my bad.
Right.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, okay. And then the meat and potatoes of the part that I'm going to be doing is we call it the ZLT, stands for Zachary Latrey Tackwell. Which was my son who died of a heroin overdose. I built a rehabilitation program for people who are addicts, who are criminals. If you're an addict, you're a criminal, I need you. I need to teach you some things that I've learned. My program is built off the accountability system. My program, I'm trying to get Home Forward to be able to back me. So when you leave my program, you go into housing. I'm trying to get corporations like maybe Nike or Adidas to maybe donate their clothing to us, so we can identify each other and dress appropriately in front of each other, so we can hold each other accountable, so we can hold each other to a higher standard. We'll be teaching DBTs, so you can learn how to deal with your trauma. I will be teaching MRTs, which is moral recognition therapy, so you can learn your part of what you have done. What else? There's a lot of things in this program. This is a beautiful thing. It's going to teach you how to. It's going to see a lot of people who are homeless who are using and things like that, and black, white, whatever. Addiction doesn't care what color you are. Sure. It'll just come and grab you, and it's really patient. So therefore you're in recovery. You're in recovery for the rest of your life, and I'm going to show you how to use the tools was given to me. I'm going to give to you in recovery, so you will know what to do when the rain starts to fall on you. You'll know what to do when things starts falling apart around you, because we're going to put your recovery first. And by you putting your recovery first, that means anything else that goes, it just goes, and you stay in. You still have your recovery.
Living testament right here.
But if you put anything before your recovery, you put a job before your recovery. Your job goes, and bye-bye recovery, bye-bye everything. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to train people how to put their recovery first, and not only just. Recovery is a lot of work, but to me, it's fun. It's great. I love helping people. I love giving back what was given to me. You don't have to suffer anymore.
Boom. Boom.
You don't. I mean, we're gonna have deaths out of our control. We're gonna have chaotic moments from situations that's out of your control. We can learn how to deal with these situations pro-socially. We don't have to be anti-social anymore. Right. We can be pro-social and grow from that. And that's what we're trying to do with this program. I'm trying to find writers and grant writers and all these different things to try to get this program going. And one thing about me is when I say I'm going to do something, that's exactly what's going on.
You showed up and turned up every time I asked you to.
Exactly what's going on.
Every time. And one of the things I forgot to mention this earlier, because a lot of people within the group are also talking about education. Yeah. There's a book that you guys all need to check out. It's called Black Men, Single, Obsolete, are dangerous. Written by
Mm.
Haki Matabuti.
Mm.
You know,
Mm.
oh yeah,
In there,
right,
girl.
right,
I already know that thing.
right. You know, it's really good.
Mm.
This book is so amazing. He said, he's like, we need to have an African American cultural boot camp.
Right.
We need the athletes and the entertainers to sit there and host these camps, get these kids out of the inner city, take them out in the woods, show them how to like start fires, catch your fish, you know, camp, set up that survival skills, learn how to change tires, learn how to cook, learn
Normal
how to
stuff.
do normal things, but we don't have
well,
this. But
right.
this is like a big brother mentoring
God
type
and
of
God
thing.
is
This is
training.
the kind of
God and
stuff
God
that we
is
need to
training.
do that. He also has 200 books that every African American should read.
200?
200. He lists all the books inside
Can you
and
say
by
that?
writers.
What's his name one more time?
Haki Matabuti.
Haki
Haki R.
Matabuti.
Matabuti.
Haki R. Matabuti.
Yes,
Look that up.
he's
Y'all
a
gonna look that up.
professor out of Chicago. His book, I read this book back in the 80s when me and Pata were having these conversations. I said, this is amazing. And it was also sad too, because he said, if you want to hide anything from Black people, put it in a book.
Right.
So if we're going to get into education and different things, let's get deeper further into it. COINTELPRO.
Right.
Why do we have addiction within our communities? COINTELPRO. Why did the drugs show up in the 80s with the crack and the cocaine and things like that? This was government.
People need to know,
This is what people don't understand. They
don't
just say, pull you up some bootstraps. It's like, but your community was not inflicted by
poison.
the amount of guns and drugs that have been thrown upon us and thrust upon us. It's like, you have no idea. And you would be an addict too. If you was going up like this and how they was going up, and that was a thing of the streets. But at least coming out of this is how we're actually moving forward.
Right.
You know, so I love your whole thing with the cloth. It's like, because, you know, we're protected by Jah, you know, and we always sit there and say this all the time. It's like, as long as you're going to do things in alignment with God's will, they will move heaven and earth for you. The angels will sit there and move for us in this direction. This is direction that we're going on. This is what WAMI is doing. This is who we're supporting. We're supporting after. We're supporting the Black community of Portland. You know, so let's give them some music, because I want them to sit there and hear your talents as well too.
So before I step out, I just want to give you guys an infinite blessings. Just want to rain some blessings on you guys. Infinite blessings, each and every one of you guys out there. These blessings that we all offer reign between all types of color, creeds, and religions. This is the blessings. This is the energy. This is the positivity that gives the rose the ability to grow out of concrete, you guys. Okay, and understand these blessings have not only protected me, they've protected all of us in many different ways. So infinite blessings. Rain gold and stained silver. Rain gold and drip blessings, you guys. Infinite blessings. Thank you so much. I'm going to step out. I'm gonna go ahead and let it drink, and then Nick will get up in here and spit some of this music. But infinite blessings, you guys. Infinite blessings, raining blessings. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right then. All right, so let's have some. We're gonna have some entertainment.
Somebody asked, how do they support your movement?
Well, you can go to the after page, which we got you can support us by funding to us. We got a GoFundMe on there. You can lead us and send us grant writers, anything that maybe donate a legal team or something. I mean, something that's going to help us get everything ready to go for help people. We're shooting for 6 months, 6 to 8 months to get our program fully operational. It's real quick for having an inpatient, outpatient drug treatment program plus an outreach program. So and get the people to be able to. We need clinicians. There's a lot of things we're going to need. So I mean, anywhere you feel that you can fit in to help out, far as clinicians, we don't want no textbook addicts. We don't need no textbook addicts. We already know you can read, but we need the people who've been there. Because I want to know what's going to help me from people who've been there. That's who I'm going to listen to predominantly.
And the name of our, excuse me, the name of our group is After. So you can find us on Facebook. You have to put in the entire name. So
we're going to put in all the links inside there.
So so put in the links there. My name is Marcus Evans. You can look me up. This is Idris Phillips. Okay, so you can look us up on Facebook.
And support WAMI.
Right, and support
WAMI.
Support Wall of Moms International.
Right.
Support them as well. But you can look us both up. Contact us, and you know we have all the list out of things we need. If you guys want to really help out, look for Aim for Total Equality Revolution on Facebook. Look for Idris Phillips, look for Marcus Evans, and just contact with us and help us walk this way. Please support, but please go to our Facebook page, Aim for Total Equality Revolution. You'll see it. It says after with some circles around it because revolution. So, all right, y'all. Thank you so much.
All right.
Blessings,
So music
infinite.
time. All right. So who's rapping first? Are you rapping first? Elijah?
Yeah, we're gonna rap from this table. That's cool. We can rap from this table. Come on.
On the table.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. All right. They're right here. Yeah, I'm gonna slide over. I'm gonna slide out the way. Just want to make sure we got the music.
Okay.
All right. So.
Ready for that.
All right.
Blessing.
All right, you guys, quiet on the set. You wanted some music, so now we're about to give you some music now.
We would like to introduce you to something new. Yeah. It's Sigma Yoda, and I'm a motherfucking prodigy. Would like to introduce you. I can't wait to never die. That's why I tried to.
All right, so which one? All right, don't shoot. This is the one y'all doing. All right, so please welcome on stage Elijah and Idris, giving us a nice piece called "Don't Shoot." So they about to drop it like it's hot. All right, so let me do that.
Cops killing citizens killing cops. Will the violence ever stop? Probably not. All we can do is try to survive on this rock while staring down the barrel of a Glock, just hoping that they don't take a shot. Cause if they pop, it's lights out. Peace, sayonara, no doubt. For the deceased, there is no tomorrow, and that's a promise. See, the problem is a product of nonsense implemented by governments convinced that they're immune to consequences that they exist. Yet they enforce laws that they constantly bend and expect us to not notice coincidence. We're up the bullshit, but we didn't say a word because we were scared. We made them taking it while we tripping the hearse. So we tried to keep our mouth shut, but we've had enough. It's time for us to speak up. And what we're saying is that we're tired of being desperate to find a solution. And since they cannot offer us one, we are ready to start a revolution.
Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Don't shoot.
Don't shoot, but if you do, don't act confused if we start shooting too.
Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Don't shoot.
Don't shoot, because if you continue to, you best believe that one day we gon' be shooting at you.
No justice, there's only just us. Serve and protect of that. They cops you no trust. Bust at me and I bet you I'm a bust back. When I be judged by 12 and carried by 6, nigga, fuck that. Yeah, I used to bang with these cops, they still do. And with that George Floyd ish, kids can get it too. Don't push me, ish. I don't look around and go from don't shoot, don't ish. Opposite down, black on black, nines, cops on these black crimes. A lot of life lost, but I'll be damned if you take mine. Get on the ground and put your hands behind your back. When I didn't do shit, hell no, I'm not doing that. Say cops, get that damn gun out my face before I pull a Snoop Dogg. Another murder was the case, so that people can see it. Witnesses now point, can you blame us? Look at all the shit the cops done. Don't shoot.
Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Don't shoot, but if you do, don't act confused if we start shooting too.
Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Don't shoot.
Don't shoot. Don't shoot, because if you continue to, you best believe that one day we gon' be shooting at you. We are not with the stop and frisk bullshit. We'll pull quick because we know that this cruel agenda is illegitimate. We are citizens and we know our rights. Black, brown, red, yellow, and white. We unite to fight the fight. Fuck the system. We can't let them make us slaves in our own nation. We must resist them and let them know it's too late for cooperation. They had their chance. They chose to join hands when Uncle Sam and let the Rockefellers and Illuminati predetermine the worth of every woman, child, and man. They treat us like grains in sand. They walk upon us as they plot and plan to keep us occupied with their products and brands. They are takers of lands, bringers of disease and cancer. They expect us to believe that we should answer to them. Nah, we the people will defeat the evil through the freedom of speech. We will march the streets and we will not retreat until we bring our enemies to their knees and make them see that there will never be peace as long as the innocent bleed. So we repeat, don't shoot, don't shoot, don't shoot, don't shoot, don't shoot, don't shoot. But if you do, don't act confused if we start shooting too.
Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Don't shoot.
Don't shoot, because if you continue to, you best believe that one day we gon' be shooting at you.
That's my boy Ligma. They call me Hurt when I ran this night. We with the Black Business.
I'm the most lazy, ambitious person out there. I don't.
It's on your Facebook at least.
Kind of.
Yeah, it's on the Facebook. We're gonna start pushing his as well as ours. We're like one of the newest groups out there in Portland. So
YouTube page.
We picked him up. He's got a line of songs that's coming out. Ligma,
Ligma, Ayota stands for all of the above. It's if I sing, I rap, and produce, and engineer, and I'm an asshole, but I'm a nice guy.
I love this dude.
I like it. I like it. All right. Yes. All right. So next up on the hot seat. All right, Jamal. All right.
Jamal.
Oh yes, we got more.
Yeah.
We're gonna shoot. Yeah. Put your thing together because we're gonna shoot this up on the rooftop and everything. Yeah, I feel you. Yeah. All right then. So now, all right, quiet on the set. So now I'm bringing to the hot seat right here now.
We don't know what's hot about it. She said it's hot, but it's really not.
It's hot,
It's
man.
really not. It's only hot after what they did, after what you
Called
just
Black
heard.
excellence. This
Yeah.
is Black excellence. This is like, this is the voices that we're trying to hear. We're amplifying Black voices here in Portland. So this is Black excellence. So I want to introduce you guys to Jamal Williams. And he is the founder and creator of Portland United for Justice and Equality. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So this is the reason why we started linking up and everything is because I love your posts. And your last one, I think it was one of them, is like, I ain't chasing after no Trump supporters.
Right.
So here's a
Definitely
different
not.
thing. You made it very clear that you want to do peaceful and nonviolent protests. So you're out in Pioneer Square several times. So this is another thing that WAMI wants to support. WAMI is supporting, as far as protests and everything else that are concerned, are going to be peaceful, nonviolent type protests. So this is the organization we want to get behind as far as as we move out into the streets.
Right.
So tell us about what you guys have been doing and what the message that you've been trying to convey to the people.
The message that I've been trying to convey is that as a personal conviction, I just don't condone violence because I believe that violence begets violence. Right. So if I want to ask, and also I know that it doesn't make sense to spit on line cops that don't have any power to do anything within the police department. If people understand, if adults, you talk to adults, then you understand that the police department is an organization. So do you think any veteran cops are going to pull the duty of running around in a hot suit all through the summer? No, that belongs to rookies. Right?
Oh, that's right.
So
Yeah.
that belongs to rookies. So you're not going to be out there, who you throwing rocks at, spitting on guys that just started a year or two ago? What are you doing in the name of Black Lives Matter? So first of all, as a matter of principle, right? Like I saw it the first couple nights, and then not the first couple nights. Well, the first couple nights, yes, but I was in the Northeast. And then after a while, I made my way downtown, and I hooked up with some other brothers who seemed to be on the same page, the nonviolent page. And so when I was down there, I had to take a look at what was going on, because on the one side, I saw people talking about Black Lives Matter. A lot of white people dressed to do combat.
Yeah, with those big shields and guards.
And I was like, what? And then somebody else just said, watch, look at it. Now they're allowing that to happen, that melee, that those little skirmishes they were having. They were saying, look, the police department is allowing that to happen. Who else could exercise such privilege but a bunch of white people?
Oh,
Who else? Who else? So where else but in your common ground, white people, can you find such a mirror? So, you know, when I stepped out, I said, well, where are the Black men that are gonna step out and say, hey, this is what we stand for? Because I know that I speak not only for myself, but for a whole bunch of Black men, right, who stand on the side of nonviolence, right? But, you know, real protest with a purpose, though, you know, and follow the blueprint that was laid out by, you know, Martin Luther King and so many others. We don't even need to say all the names. We already know.
Yeah.
And yet, you know, there wasn't really anybody who I saw that was distinctly separating themselves apart from the crowd, right? Where are the group of people, right? Because I saw a crowd, right? And I saw diversion, and I saw, you know, tactics that are just typical. And so it's a lot of hard work that has to be done. So I stepped out there and then I committed myself one day at a time. You know, every day I got to ask myself, is this something that I really want to do? Because some days it don't feel like I'm getting a lot of traction, you know, because I didn't come out with, you know, I didn't come out with a blueprint for a nonprofit organization on everything. I came out because Black men have been dying and too long. You know, Black men like me have sat on the couch enjoying all the fruits of everybody else's labor. And not that I'm not talking, and don't get that wrong, because when I say enjoying the fruits of everybody else's labor, what I mean is for those that died, right? So that I can sit right here in this lobby, right, and talk how I want to and say everything that I want to here in the city of Portland, in one of the whitest cities, in the whitest city in the whole United States. Right, so Black people died. Either they died at the hands of the police, you know, or they died on the news, or they died working, or other folks have died. And so too long, you know, men like such as myself, you know, have not really been on the front line. So it was time to commit myself again back to the bricks. And, you know, and some people may understand what I'm talking about right there, but commit myself back to the bricks, but it's time for the right reason. You know what I'm talking about?
I do. And so while I'm watching what's happening in the group, and you say you're going out there into the square, and it's like, especially because you're speaking against the violence, you know, and it's really weird because we as Black people, it's like white people want to tell us not to be violent. It's like, please don't tell us what to do. This is really offensive. It's really not, you know, I'm a nonviolent person anyway, regardless. Most Black people are actually very nonviolent. You know, we come at things at a different angle, but don't sit there and say, we must take the high road. We have been taking the high road. You just haven't been listening to us taking the high road. So that's why, again, we have to sit there and like, we are trying to take the
Guess what? If the national leadership has sent other smarter Black men out here, right, I wouldn't be standing in the goddamn Pioneer Square. How about that?
Thank
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So you get what you got. So I don't know what else to tell them. You get what you got, and I'm not crowd chasing in the Pioneer Square. I moved to the Pioneer Square to separate myself from violence, but I do it anywhere. The Pioneer Square, outside my house, or around the corner. It doesn't matter, because what we're talking about is not about buildings and places. We talking about some spiritual shit.
Yeah.
We talking about some insidious racism at the hands of police departments. We're not stepping out in the streets because people are dying. 8th graders are dying at the hands of their 8th grade teachers. Principals is choking little kids out. We're not out here because of that. Right? College coaches are killing their basketball players. We're not out here because of that. We stand out here because police officers, right, keep killing Black people, keep killing their prisoners outrageously. And now we see it on the film. But see, here's the deal though. We say that now, right? But as Black people, are we surprised when we see it happen? So no, we're not surprised. It's all the white people that's like, it's on camera. And I mean, I don't mean to mock you like that, sis, but you know what I'm saying? We kind of have to make sure that we are always taking a look at how we are framing you know, our message, right? Because the language changes all the time.
Right.
They want to politicize Black Lives Matter.
Yeah,
now.
they are.
They want to say me and you say Black Lives Matter. Somebody else says no, Blue Lives Matter, as if we're talking about the same thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they want to just, you know, they want to take you down these rabbit holes all the time. They want to talk about Black on Black crime. They want to talk about the school system. They want to talk about this and this and that and the other thing. Well, you know what I'm saying? There is a conversation. There is a time, right? But those are also, right, tactics, right, to get us away from George Floyd, to get us away from Breonna Taylor.
Which it's still not even answered right now.
We don't need another program to stop the police from killing Black people. I know that.
We have the programs in place.
Yeah, we got it already. It's called the law. It's called the law. We already got it. And so, you know, as other men have came before me and said, you know, as real as it could be, you know, and I'm just backing up what's already. We know our rights. This is an issue that Black descendants of slaves have a particular bone to pick with white men here in the United States. See, while everybody else, right, received reparations for the crimes that was committed upon their people, right? Black people were first kidnapped.
As you saw in the first video that we were showing.
And falsely imprisoned for 243 years. And then got out to face other subjugation up until present day. And we see this acted out. We see this demonstrated by the police department. Who else in our community has such power? What immense power we give our police officers. The right to take someone's liberty, the right to take in any situation, right? They are the ones that are uniquely equipped, right, to deal with it in the most, they have all the tools at their disposal, not the average citizen. We spend so much money on their training, so much money on their tools, so much money on their safety equipment. Yet, you know what I'm saying? At the hands, when it comes to Black men, we see outrages he unloads. I mean, 7 times in the back. Anybody that shot a gun already knows, right? That is just stupid. We don't have to explain that.
Yeah, we see the difference because one of the problems is that we see the difference is like when they're saying they're fearing for their life. How do you fear for your life of someone whose back is turned and they're actually running in the opposite direction?
That's language. That's cap. That's drag. That's language. That's cap. That's drag. You can't do that. You can't say that unlawfully and knowingly. Unlawfully and knowingly.
And the problem that we're dealing with.
You can't say that. You know what I mean? And then therefore, I mean, they got that language, right? But also we have the video proof now. That says otherwise.
Even with the video proof,
you can't even tell us that.
Even with the video proof, so they asked for the cameras, right? So we got the cameras. Even after all the incidences that actually happened after George Floyd, there's still no resolution still. So we have the cameras, we've had the boards, like you said, it's not like we're creating new things.
It's been bittersweet.
It's more than bittersweet.
Well, it's been bittersweet.
The truth is.
Because we are going to go far, like my partner says, because we got a long way to go. And so, you know, we had to acknowledge that right now, you know, some flags have come down. A lot of statues have come down all across the nation. Some businesses have attempted to at least step up in advertisement and at least to say that they're going to say with their dollars as corporations have said, Black, we have to acknowledge that. And we have to also make sure that we don't use language, the us versus them language. You see what I'm saying? The same language they use against us, which is being used by people when they refer to police departments, as I was saying about police officers. You know, when I was growing up as a kid, You know what I'm saying? The police officer wasn't a bad person.
Right.
And when we're talking about the culture of the United States, and so when we got little toys, we first start out with the little fire trucks. As young boys, we start out with the little police cars. So don't nobody really grow up hating the police.
Yeah.
They got to see something traumatizing. They got to step outside their house. They got to walk outside their school and see something for real. You know what I mean? And that changes the situation. But then we also know that everybody got some good police officers in their community. Every black man know that there's always one police officer that's from the hood that everybody know what's his name was cool, man. You know what I'm saying? And it was other cops like that. And so we're not painting them with a broad brush, you know, but we understand. I get it. You know, it's a gang member mentality up in them police departments. And they got a culture, they got a culture that's dug in. You know what I'm saying? So you imagine being the only one at work. You imagine being the only one at work. Now you want to come in all of a sudden, Mr. Goody Two Shoes, and start solving problems. We're going to make it hard for you. Your uniform going to be out of pocket. You know what I'm saying? Your car gonna be out of pocket. I'm gonna start inspecting you all the time. You're gonna be out of position. What was you doing at Taco Bell for 5 minutes too long? You're supposed to be on the street. You know what I'm saying? So what was you doing over there? So it's all kind of ways to trip a cop up, man, and get rid of police officers, good police officers that make waves. So we have to investigate them for real. And this is what our citizens, the police department was made for us, by us, with our money. They work for us, but yet they seem, right, to be able to set themselves apart from the community they serve, hence, right, blue lives versus black lives, right? We are not talking about that. We are talking about humanity. And you don't have to, we're not even arguing about Donald Trump.
No.
I'm not. So I shouldn't even say we. I shouldn't even say we.
Right.
Because I'm not. Because I know Donald Trump, the shit just didn't start with him. And though he may have one of the loudest voices on the platform right now, I know that he is just a voice, right? But I think the words that I'm using and the voice that I'm calling upon is a way bigger voice than Donald Trump.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Black Lives Matter because God says so.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
I don't need the white man to tell me that Black Lives Matter. God already let me know that my lives matter. You heard me? But see, we are dealing with the laws of man.
The laws of man.
It's got to be a choice. It's got to be a choice thing. And what I need to tell our white allies, it's not just enough. You value what you spend your time and your money on.
Right.
You value what you spend your time and your money on. So while you may want to spend, we need your feet. So join us on September 26th at Irvington Park, 12:30. We're gonna have an alternative get together, right? And y'all really need to come stand with us. Now, the reason why I pick Irvington Park is because it's safe. And I call it Irvington because I'm from the hood, but it's really called Irving Park. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, like what I'm saying is that the reason why I picked that park, right, is because it's in one of Portland's historic Black neighborhoods, right? And also it's a safe park, right? And it's an alternative to the other rally that's going to be going on in this city on that day, right? And I don't even need to mention their names, but if you guys don't show up, right, then we don't get the recognition. And so like I said, you know, like I've been saying the whole time, this is, I get it. I don't expect white people to say Black Lives Matter and really feel it like I feel it when I say it sometimes, you know, but you need to just come stand with us, right? You need to just come stand with us and quit trying to act like you know what to do all the time. And I mean that with all due respect to all the people that want to come be in the struggle. You know what I'm saying? But we got leaders for this. We got a blueprint for this already.
Thank you.
It didn't come from no white people though. You know what I'm saying? we got a blueprint for this. And so if y'all just want to get with us and come stand with us and learn how to be still,
Be
still, learn how to be still, then we can move on something. But we can't change nothing out in St. Helens. We can't go out to Oregon City if we moving like a crowd and everybody just doing whatever comes clever. We got to move like a unit. Now, one thing you have to do, you have to admire them other people, how they come together.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to admire how they activate.
With a different strategy.
Because when they come together, they come together.
And what happens? Waves.
And we don't come together. We come together, and then you got some over here. They don't want to listen to him. They don't want to do that because and it's all of that. So Portland United that's why I said Portland United.
Yes.
And it's so long as you stand for nonviolence, you can stand next to me and talk about Black Lives Matter. You can talk about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You can stand next to me, but as a minute you go to talking about that other stuff, then I got to separate myself, and that's why. Because I don't really. It's really fragmented here, and so it's people get the right to choose where they want both their feet. And I've decided where I wanted both mine, and that's just on the side of nonviolent. And I can be nonviolent anywhere, in the Pioneer Square, outside the Justice Center, standing on MLK, anywhere.
Right.
And we as well, I mean, what you've been saying all along, like I said, we've been listening to you, and we've been listening to the voices of the people within inside the group as well too. And it's like that, those values are the same shared values. So on September 26th, for those of you guys who don't know, there's going to be like this massive militiamen, Proud Boys, Boogaloo, right wing, white supremacists, whatever. They're going to sit there and gather, all of them is going to try to come gather inside of Portland. But our mission and our goal, this is where we're actually all coming together, is we ain't going to be over there in front of their faces, yelling back and forth at each other and doing for what?
We're not even talking about that.
So those of you watching,
if they want to go,
y'all keep bringing it up.
Their candidate for all of that, they can do that, right?
I say leave people be. Leave people be. Let them be. Leave people be. If you want to sit there and get the party started on the other side, over there where you guys are going to do your thing in the park, we're going to make sure we set up the event. This is where you guys can be. This is where you guys can show up at. This is where you're going to sit there and listen to the voices of our Black brothers, and they will entertain you. They will talk to you. They will educate you. They will pray with you. They will be there together in unity in the community together. If you want to go and fight people and you want to go and do whatever, do that over there. Yeah. We're going to do this over here. We're going to do something else different. And we're going to get other people as well to support and be behind you. This is Portland United for Justice and Equality.
That's right. But what's frustrating, right, is that a lot of people, and I get that everybody on your group and everybody that's associated or that has decided to take a look at Portland United doesn't live in the Portland area, right? But like I said, in my new saying now, this is not the woke Olympics. This is not about.
Oh yes.
This is not about who's going to sit around and make the most woke post on Facebook,
preaching to the choir,
and not bring their ass to the park or bring their ass to the square. You see what I'm saying? Because Black people are dying in the street, not on Facebook. That's where they just showing it at.
Yes.
So Facebook is just a medium. Right, but where the rubber meets the road, right, is on the bricks, and that's where we are. You want to be a part of what's going on, right? Then you have to come stand where we stand, and please believe, right, that if you follow us, right, we gonna take you to the spots where we need to be. But you just really gonna have to humble yourself. That's what I'm asking a lot of our supporters to do, is to humble yourself, as I have to do every day. Right? Every day.
There's a question.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Yes. What's the question?
John C. Johnson wants to know, what is the role of an ally?
Ooh. Okay. So, great question. Thank you, John. There's a difference between being an ally and accomplice. All right. An ally, if you're going to be like a white ally, it's like, I feel for you. That's so horrible. And, that's horrible what's happening. I believe in Black lives. I want to sit there and support you. Or they sit there and say, I empathize with you. or I've never treated a Black person badly and they call themselves allies. But an accomplice is someone who's like, you're going to be my ride or die homie. You're going to stand with me. You're going to stand with my brother here. You're going to stand there when he says there, says, I need you to be here such and such a time. I need you to be there with me. If you're going to be an accomplice, I need you to sit there and go out there with Chris, you know, to pick up them heavy boxes, because them boxes are not light. They're heavy. That's some work. If you're going to be an accomplice, not just like, oh, I support what you're doing. You got to do more than just support what you're doing because you verbally said you support what somebody's doing and you're verbally saying something on Facebook. You got to show up. You got to put your body out there and be like, I'm willing to sit there and give up some time of my day to go and do this work, to do this social activism and the outreach community that the work is actually needed. If you're going to be an accomplice, that means you're going to sit there and give up some of your money and donate to these organizations that all three of the brothers have sat there and talked about. It's like, if you can't do anything, you can't leave the house, can't lift anything, you can't do all this other stuff, then you can donate some money and let them get some other people to sit there and help them. You know, so each one teach one. If you want to be an accomplice, you're going to sit there and talk to your 300 friends and not talk to me about how Black Lives Matter. You talk to your 300 other white friends and family about how Black lives actually matter.
I want to say this, John, that now, first of all, I believe that a majority of the people everywhere want a safe community.
That's true.
I believe no matter what community you live in, right, a majority of the people in that community want it to be safe. So what does that mean? That means that all white allies, when they talk about preaching to the choir, I get it that a lot of y'all aren't racist. I get it that y'all raise Black kids and you got interracial marriage. I get it, all of that. I get it, all of that, right? But being an ally, in my mind, means that you see my struggle and you identify with my struggle, and you say that that's the good fight for you. And you say, man, I want to align myself with what you're doing. Not come in and change it, right? Though you may have some special skills that may be needed. But first, we got to get to the part where we can just learn to stand together. And that's what I'm saying, because we Black year round.
Yes.
And some of y'all just been Black for the last 100 days.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And y'all just trying to be Black right now. And it's because it's cool. And don't you know, George Floyd matter and everything like that. And I get it, right? You know what I'm saying? But it's going to take more than a season.
Yes.
It's going to take more than a season to change this. I mean, how long has it been going on? If you ask yourself the realistic question, how long has this been going on? And with all due respect, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm laser focused, right, on changing the relationship between the police departments and the communities they serve, specifically the poor communities where the police say they work the hardest in, right? So if that's where you work the hardest in, you know what I'm saying? We tired of this. We still haven't seen justice. So we're not gonna forget that. And why we stay out here is because we still have officers who are sitting at home on their couch with their families, right? And we have other Black people, citizens of the United States, who are dead now at their hands, right? Which a majority of the people have stepped out and said, this is outrageous. A majority of the people, not only in the United States, but also recognized around the world as an outrageous crime. And so why we stay out here, right, is because as a Black diaspora, we understand, right, that this is a systemic issue. This is not a seasonal issue. This is a systemic issue.
Yeah, actually, and so to wrap this up as well too, I was sitting here thinking that people don't really understand when we sit there and say it's a conspiracy. This ain't no conspiracy. This is actually reality. No, the conspiracy that they trying to kill us. You know, they're trying to exterminate us. I mean, they say no because this is the truth. Because no, if you think about it, we've always been sitting there like wondering why we have this looking over our back and this chip on our shoulder and everything else. But if you think about when the white allies actually start to step in, right? So here comes the wall of moms, you know, they starting to like block here, and those people who are out there violining, you know, for Elijah during the protest. I mean, why in the world would you tear gas and bullet people who are peacefully saying, I believe that Black Lives Matter? Now, we already knew if we say that, they gonna kill us for that, but you're really willing to sit there and inflict violence on other white people for saying the same thing? What else did they do? All they did was play a violin, and all they said they were staying with, it's like that, if that word is so offensive, Black Lives Matter is so offensive that they're willing to inflict as much harm as possible on people just for even saying those words. That's why does those marches happen?
I'm saying this, I'm looking at it objectively. Police officers are human too.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why I don't say fuck the police, and this is why I don't say all cops are bastards.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know how much you can take. A person ain't got but about 1 or 2 times to spit on me. Maybe not even that. I don't know how much you can take.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this goes to training. This goes to their training.
Yeah. If they have training.
If they even have it.
Mm-hmm. Each
this
department
goes to their
is
discipline.
different.
This goes to their discipline. They're human.
Mm-hmm.
So we understand that being spit on and being yelled at as a human and all of that kind of stuff at work, man, is like some crazy stuff to be dealing with, coming from anybody. You know what I'm saying? It is traumatizing. It's combat. It's combat.
Yeah.
You standing there hot in the daytime with a shield, and you got 80 or 200 people throwing shit at you. You don't know one of them got a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Could come out with a little 9mm and try to pop 2 police officers that just got shot the other day in LA. Tragic. Tragic. Tragedy. We denounce that.
Mm-hmm.
Tragic. So how you go to work like that, feeling like that? And then they say, go stand on the front line. And then so I'm looking at it objectively. As a you know, blue lives is not lives, it's a career choice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So Blue Lives was the movie Avatar, right? Smurfs, all that type of shit. And, you know, the other part about it is that the other part about it is that, you know, it's a career choice. Mm-hmm. And we understand, right, that officers, right, are you know, are endowed with a lot of power. And so we have to get inside the system now, right, and rebuild it in such a way that it reflects the current values of today's current times. Mm-hmm. And that's just it. And so without trying to cuss people out and say, get off your asses, but y'all need to get off y'all's asses though. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And mm-hmm. Spend your time and your money. You know what I mean? Energy. Spend your time and your money. That's what I mean. Because they want you to look at them buildings and they want to say, what about the Target that got burnt down? What about the liquor store that got burnt down? What about the corner convenience store that got burnt down? Well, I'm gonna tell you something. Look at it from this perspective. If you look at a low income neighborhood, a lot of people that over there don't rent. I mean, they rent. They don't own. So they don't. You stop saying they burning down their own neighborhood. To them, it's not their neighborhood. And when a person loses their life, you had to understand what type of trauma, right? You know, our soldiers in battle, if they discharge their weapon, mm-hmm. they have to come back and have an after action report, right? And really have a lot of discipline mm-hmm. around that. Mm-hmm. You know, where we bring prisoners of war mm-hmm. to the United States soil, mm-hmm. right? to stand up under our laws. And yet US citizens, right, are being executed under the color of law on US soil, right?
Black servicemen are coming home and dying here on their own land than surviving, you know, serving overseas, you know, by police officers. You know, I grew up military. I understand this.
Yeah, you do.
You know,
you do
this
understand it. And this is real because they, you know, they try to, Black people have been the most patriotic people in the United States.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Let's not forget that, you know, that during the Revolutionary War, they would stand us up in front of them. And while they load their muskets, and then they would put their muskets on our shoulders and they would shoot.
Yeah.
And when I say "are," right, because I can say that because y'all don't have no images of slavery going back. There's other tragic things that have happened to a lot of people, but like as I've said, this is a specific bone with white America and the history that we share as a country. And if you guys are standing against this, you know, I don't need to go all into how, you know, since then, you know, Black people have served in every war, you know, with valor,
right,
with courage, you know, and are doing so right now, you know, for everybody in this. So they can't, so it's like they are going to try to confuse us with all of that. But our argument is solid. We standing on solid ground here. Get on the right side of God. Figure out where you want both your feet. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about human lives here, you know? And so you got to have some skin in the game because we most definitely do. And you got to get some skin in the game. If you ain't got no skin in the game, well, it's too easy for you to be white. And it's you can just fade back into your whiteness. You know what I'm saying? Black Lives Matter is not going to diminish your white privilege. None. You still going to be white. You still going to have your white privilege.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But we're talking about humanity here. And you see where society is going now. They want to come. Why do they want to come down? Why do people want to come search each other out just so they can have conflict? Where you already know that the forces of no good is at work overtime.
Yeah.
You already know. So now is what better time than the present for you to figure out where you're gonna go? Because check this out, you can either come willingly or they gonna drag you into either side they want you in. That's what's gonna happen.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. So this is Jamal from Portland United for Justice and Equality. You know, so make sure you follow him. We're gonna be, Wami's gonna be supporting the event as well with them on September 26th. You know, we're moving in a different direction and we're doing, yes. And now to the next hot seat. C3, the Rasta Man. Thank you so much. Yes. All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Jamal, that was amazing.
Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? But that's just out the heart. You know, like that's we all still, that's every day. That's no change. Thank you.
All right. So if you're gonna do that, you're gonna do this one. Come on, right here. Hot seat.
Can we give our signer a round of applause?
Yes. Yes. She's amazing. I've been watching her. It's like she. Yeah. One more. Yeah.
Oh.
So.
What's good?
All right. So now we got C3 sitting with us. Our final man. Rasta Man, are you coming as well too? You
yes,
doing this? All right. You coming in?
Not yet.
Not yet. All right. When you ready and everything. So.
Yeah.
Now we have C3 who's here with us, and tell us a little bit about some of your ideas. You know, you've heard us talking all evening about the different things, and you want, if we're going to amplify your voice, what is this voice and message that you also have to say?
I got some notes right here I was taking while watching.
Took notes.
So yeah, basically, so I'm a firm believer in righteousness. I'm a firm believer in righteousness. That is to say that I cannot tell you what your purpose is, but I can tell you if you are in line with it. And the way I can tell that is through your principlism. And so I've been going around since the first Friday of the protests, You know, yeah. Speaking truth. And, you know, I came out the first day, I told everybody that we were going through a federal seizure based off of the insolvency of the Corporation of the United States of America, which was founded in 1871. You know, I also told them that day that they would use us to create all types of different narratives and frictions, and to be wary of infiltrators amongst us that seem to have a agenda of their own. So I started off this whole thing telling people about the counterintelligence because of the fact that my dad started the Black Guerrilla Family. When he started the Black Guerrilla Family, if there was anything that I could say that was the ultimate lesson that we learned in that revolution, and just for reference, the Black Guerrilla Family is who started the Black Panther Party. That's who started the Black Liberation Army, and also who started the Symbionese Liberation Army. That's how it all started, from the formation of the creed of the BGF that started within the pen.
You might have to explain, because a lot of these viewers are not understanding any of that part, especially because once you mention guerrillas and Black Panthers and other things like that, they are under the misconception of it being like a violent terrorist hate group. But amongst ourselves, we know liberation of our people is a different meaning. You know, self-defense is a different meaning. You know, self-defense is not antagonizing or agitating or creating violence. It's only just protection of ourselves, you know.
No one that is responding violently to colonialism is not acting in self-defense. Now, they might not be acting in righteousness, but if you're responding to colonialism, the violence has already taken its toll. You're already in a state of defense. You're definitely not the initial offender. So when we talk about humanity in general, you have to understand, I can have 10,000 protesters and they can all listen and pay attention and absorb the message, but all it takes is 3 paid infiltrators to turn everything into a perfect media narrative that seems to be perfectly timed and placed exactly where they want it every single time. Anything good happens on the movement, you never will see the actual peace and solidarity, and the fact that the language is actually universal. You know, now, of course, you have people that don't know what the movement really is, but you'll always have students at different grades. I don't condemn the students at the different grade levels, but I do make myself extremely aware that they are at that grade level, so that I can proceed in the appropriate way with the teachings. But, you know, understand that this counterintelligence operations are taking place, and what we're talking about right now are those effects, the splintering of the movements that have taken place, the disagreements, all of these different things are all part of the plan. At the end of the day, this is a human revolution that should and is being led by Black people. Now, is there a fallacy? Is there a false version of a real movement that has been building for 5,000 years? Yes, there is. There is a false version of that movement, but we should not be distracted by that. We should build the movement that we've been building. We should not stop building what we've been building. The Black liberation movement is real. The Black power movement is real. We are not building something new. We are continuing. And we're also going back and getting. Okay, so right now what we're working on is a tribal union called the Sankofa Natural Wealth. The Sankofa Natural Wealth is an ultra sovereign tribal union We're addressing the things that essentially the issues that we never addressed. You have several native tribes all over the place right now, actually indigenous tribes all over the world right now that had false versions of sovereignty. Now they found out that that sovereignty meant nothing because it was not federal sovereignty. And so now they've just been robbed for billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars on a world stage. And on that world stage, all at once. So it's a little different now. They've been being robbed, they've been bamboozled, but now it's been on a world stage all at once. The jig is up. So you have not had the sovereignty that you thought you had. You have not had the free will that you thought you had, and none of us had. None of us had. And so right now, it is time to tribe up. It is time to find your soul tribe, and it is time to join your soul tribe, and it is time to take it to another level. Right now, what we need is ultra sovereign, supranational tribal union and unity. And without having that be under a natural wealth system based on indigenous principles, it will be nothing. And so what it is built on the sacred principles that guide us, that have always guided us, and actually make up what we would call Black culture. Once you remove all of the toxic bullshit that they've installed into our culture, you will find that we are simply practicing the art of authenticity, the art of being present, and getting an update on who we are and where we are. And then from there, we are practicing evolution of our principalism, okay? So understanding, right? So this is what we're doing. We're building this movement right now. I'm also working with Black Men and Women United, which is a grassroots group of 300 Black people that got together and said, hold on a second. We have not been able to actually be heard. This was supposed to be in the name of us. I ain't heard none of the stuff we talking about. Can we please talk? Can we please be heard? Right now, what are we doing? We are not demanding anything. We are not asking for anything. We are building our new world. And that's what Sankofa is too. We are not asking for anything. We are building it. And ain't nobody going to permission us or allow us in any kind of way to do it. We gonna do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Give thanks for that. All right. So now moving on, I guess we have one more for the hot seat. Thank you so much.
Oh, you don't want me to hit you with something?
You want to hit us with something? All right. All right, hit me. All right. Let's hear it.
Thanks for tuning in, you know.
Stand up, stand
up. Yeah, thank you.
I don't even know. I'm gonna channel it.
All right. Channel it. I channel it.
Thanks for tuning in, you know.
Thanks for tuning in.
Rastafari.
How long did you think that I'd be your slave? Like all of them spirits ain't coming right back from the grave. Like I won't go to the ends of the earth with the heart of a brave. And go behind the scenes while everyone's eyes on the stage. Don't wanna abolish police. You okay with demolishing niggas? But in all honesty, that's been your policy. You ain't astonishing niggas. You ain't fucking up the prophecy. What it is what it's got to be, nigga. None of your tactics have got to me. I'm way too hip for hypocrisy, nigga. Narcissistic aristocracies, oligarchical bureaucracies. Best believe I give it all I got. Immortalized in the hall of thought. Akashic Gnostic with the policies. Them tokens talking make a mockery. Said I wouldn't for the cause I fight. I'm every time in the laws of might. Yes. But how long did you think that I'd be your slave? Like all of them spirits ain't coming right back from the grave. Like you ain't doing the maximum time for this minimum wage.
Like it ain't voodoo whenever the guru put pen to the page. Man, they ain't trying to give nothing back. They subjugate us to republic rats. The history of iniquity, they isolate and cover up the facts, perpetrating to corrupt the path, puppeteering, fucking up the math. Didn't know it was a mob when they paid the tax. Now we bankrupt because we can evade the traps. Now they got the whole world swallowed whole. Currently, loan sharks swimming in our currency. A whole lot of hoes in the same boat, but a slave boat sinking just ain't concerning me. Trying to build a new kind of shit so I could get back to my old kind of ways. Folks in the days, as they listen to the hits and television, the division took an oath in the ways. But how long did you think that I'll be your slave? Like all of them spirits ain't coming right back from the grave. Like I will show up and roll up my sleeves and then light up the stage. Dispel your colonial ways. That shit ceremonial grave.
Yes.
Blessing. Where my blessings, man?
Blessings.
Blessing.
Blessings.
That was
Blessings.
scene three.
Blessings.
This is amazing. It's like, what I tell you about my black brothers here?
No, you stay
Here
down
in
there.
Portland.
Keep going back in there.
All right, then. Come on, Rasta man. All right.
We're going back in here.
All right. Nazi dreadlock.
It's time to speak a weird English.
All right. Well, one. So now we have the Nazi dreadlock sitting down with us. Please give our audience, our viewers, your name, please.
My name is Omi Carrero, is a real name, but I go as a dreaded warrior. Yeah, and it's a long journey so far.
So why are you here? What brought you here?
What brought me here? You see that brother right there? You don't like to show him, but he's the most beautiful man I know on earth. His name is Zenny.
So
the
for our
Mike
viewers
Smith.
watching,
Mike Smith. And why I'm here, I needed to heal, and I had a lot of trauma. You know, I'm from Rwanda. When the genocide happened, I was 9 years old, and then I had a trauma. I live in Spokane, Washington. You know, and there's another trauma that comes with that. I call it that. Not today, colonizer.
Not today, colonizer.
Not today, colonizer.
Not today.
So the truth is, I came here to heal, and the blessings followed me.
Blessings.
You know, one of the weirdest things, one of the craziest things. So Pato and I, one of our mentors, he was Musi Hailu. He was ambassador. He's from Ethiopia. He's ambassador.
Haile Selassie the first.
Yes. Anyway, he had to do Truth and Reconciliation in Rwanda. You know, so for those of people who don't know, because not everybody actually knows, and we actually have to break it up for people, is that Truth and Reconciliation and rights are for people to bring people together who are literally chopping each other up. You know, brothers against brothers.
Tell them.
This is the truth.
Come on.
You know, so
we're here. Before that, can we shake it all there? You hear that?
Yeah.
Come on, let's go.
This is why it's important. This is the reason that Pato and I came up here to Portland, is that we're trying to bring people together, unity in the community. We've been through worse fights, you know, so trust me, all the fights that's coming against me, coming against us, or coming against whatever, we've seen some serious
I want to ask you one more question.
Yes.
What you know about South Africa? Would you share with the people here?
Same thing. So there's a thing that they call Fumble Talk, and this is a great documentary. If you haven't seen it, it's really good, because just like in Rwanda, you have to bring truth. If we're going to get to beauty and goodness, truth, beauty, and goodness, we must get to the truth first. We have to get to the truth, and we have to reconcile. People don't want to have these conversations here in America, but in South Africa, it's like, how are you going to sit there and face your jailer? You know, this is South Africa. It's like when Pato was sitting there talking about Mandela, and you know, it's like, I'm going to face my jailer, and we are actually going to have to shake hands. We're going to have to come together.
But one thing you're forgetting, there's 2,000 languages.
Oh Lord, that's all over Africa.
I guarantee you right now.
There's 2,000 languages.
I'm gonna ask one question. How many countries you think live in Africa? How many countries? Anybody?
200.
Okay, 280. Who? You see, we are 54. So imagine 54 states that are now united. All right. So this is what we're talking about. And there's 2,000, even more maybe, languages that are going on down there.
You're feeling that.
And no, my point is, the colonizers knew what they were doing to separate that thing. You understand?
Yeah.
So I'm here to talk about I from Rwanda. I'm a survivor of the genocide of Rwanda, and I know what that shit can do. And I got here, and we have a nonprofit called Imhanda. Imhanda means a calling. And it's based in Spokane, Washington. That's where we came from.
Isn't that where all the right-wing supremacists and everything are up there?
It's all right.
I'm from there too.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Y'all educate me. Y'all tell me what's going on up there.
Well, here, just listen to what I've got to say. You know what I'm saying? Like for real talk. I moved here. Me and my wife met in Rwanda. She was a math teacher for high school girls and academy and all that. And we moved here. We naturally based in Spokane since 2015. The first time we did the event was at the Bing Theater, and 450 something show up, right? And then just life happens, you know what I'm saying? Some people might be like, what you been up to? I changed from Rasomike to Omi Carrero to Dreaded Warrior, because my spirit was leading me today in front of y'all to tell you that I've learned enough, and now it's time for y'all to listen, all right? And this is not about language, and I know I speak weird, right? But this time maybe on TV, y'all can pay attention and listen that only love can cure this.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, hear me
Love
out.
conquers all. It will kill all the viruses.
Watch this, though, my sister.
All right, yes, go give us a piece.
So I survived, and our nonprofit is called Imhanda Rwanda, IMPNDA Rwanda, and you can find it. And it reached to the point where now we no longer serve harm, because I saw that the problem is here. So if it's here, then we extended everything. So we are opening up a new center on Central East of on 5th, South Hill, a little bit. You all know, by Fred Myers and Dawn. That's where Imhanda is going to be, across the street from Fresh Soul, another beautiful soul people. It's a Black nation out there that we created, and we're here. And that wasn't my journey, but I'm going to explain why I'm here. So I went through enough. When you reach to the place where you say, yo, this is enough. You understand? No, actually we overstand. We overstand that problem because I'm from Rwanda. I passed the genocide. I passed through so many deaths and rebirths, but this time you all got to do better. It don't matter where you're from. This is not about black and white. This is not about that. Whatever you can call it. What I see is a spiritual war, and you all got to come together as one. Okay? Wake up, come together as one. Only love can bring the change we want. Wake up, help the weak if you're strong. Blind can't see the light, wicked can see wrong. It's a new song coming up. Me and my brethren, soul brother, big up to her. Roddy Brown is a good soul, and people who know me, they saw what I went through, right? So I went through.
Give them your name again.
No, they know. Spokane people already, especially if you know.
No, give them your name again.
Dreaded Warrior.
Okay, the Dreaded Warrior.
People know me as the Ras Omiki Projects. People know me, Imhanda. You all know already. Fuck this. The thing is, we're talking truth right here, right? And we're sick and tired to see these puppy games keep going on around. All over the world, we're tired. You understand? It's time you all make fucking the whole world green again. How
Okay,
about
no more
that?
F-bombs now. Okay.
I'm sorry about my language.
It's okay. It's okay.
But
We're coming from a spiritual
time, though.
point of
Look,
view.
though, it's time. Now we reach to the point where it's time that we all come together and make the whole world green again. How about that?
Thank you.
How about, don't just want to see a kid. Look, I got 5-year-old Zion, right? Big up to yourself, Sam and Ashura, everybody. You know what I mean?
All right, then.
My son.
I'm going to have to wrap this up.
My son is
I got
5.
someone working here.
My son is 5. And we're going from the school, the kindergarten, to the 8 to 3 because of all these things going on. Why don't you see that Jah is sending all your messages that you need to put your together? Huh? What's so hard? If I can come over this genocide when I was 9, what's your excuse today? Please tell me, what's your excuse today? I've been screaming so many times, and I'm glad to hear it. You see what the Spirit does? It brings, yeah, we're here. Anyway, we're here.
All right.
Rastafari.
So, Rastafari here. All right. So, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in and checking out our program. We're going to have a lot more like these as well, because we're going to hear from many more voices from within inside Portland and support all of these organizations.
Can I hit them with one more?
Please, give them one song
How
before
come
we sign
hard
off
to
and
be
everything.
this way? Hard workers never get paid. Single mama has a family to raise. Tired of being a slave. How come has to be this way? Hard workers never get paid. Single daddy say in every way. Tired of being a slave. Rastafari, just do better. Don't be
Just
sorry.
do better. Thank you. Love can win this. We can do this. We can kill the virus with love. We can kill everything with love. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. Awesome. We'll see you guys soon. Thank you.
I didn't say about that. So tribalists, we here.
All right.
Rasta.
Goodbye, Pato.
Let me see those keys.
All right, Pato, any last words?
I just want to say this was excellent. And looking forward to getting on our flight tomorrow, heading back home.
No worries.
But we've made some good friends, some great alliances, and I'm seeing more unity that will come from this. So thank you, Antoinette, for pulling this together, for all your efforts. You know, I know you're very passionate about seeing more love and unity in Portland and seeing more progress everywhere around this subject all over the world. It's something that you've been passionate about for years. So, you know, let's do this. Let's continue.
Can you give us your speed rap before you go?
No.
Come on, Pato.
No speed raps
Come
tonight.
on. All right, one rap.
I just want to say peace and love to
One
everybody.
rap. Give us one rap. One rap. Come on. One rap.
Behind you now.
Yes, all right.
Behind you now.
You got your
I know
brother
you see
loving
the
you.
green
All
shirt.
right. Yeah, there we go. All right, quiet on the set. Quiet on the set. Go ahead, Pato.
So many problems in this world that we're living in. So many people feel like giving in. Life is a struggle, but we keep on juggling. Poor man hustling, money man hustling. Yes, we're moving at a fast pace, but I don't want to be in a no rat race. Cause there's more to life than material things. Everyone count your blessings, and we got to give thanks and praise as we look forward to brighter days. Cause I know with a little faith, everything is gonna be okay. I believe that love, oh love, sweet love, is the greatest
All right,
thing.
everybody.
Love, oh love, sweet love, is the greatest thing. Again, love, oh love, sweet love, is the greatest thing in the world.
Let's get that chorus one more time.
Yeah. Well, as a student of the Universal University, I believe there can be harmony within diversity, unity within a multiracial community, a society providing equal opportunity. So me say I'm a dreamer, but I'm a believer, transmitter, receiver, a truth revealer, spreading the words of Mama as a teacher. All over the world we are going to reach you. Me say what this, what that, me no feature when that get up, me start when up, me take a me turn me back, I'm like a light.
Say a fire burn them little when you bop put. Yes, when a man KGL war one. But it's a bunch of friend. We're here. We're here. Rastafari. You say what this, what that, me no feature when dance get up, me scratch me not me take a me come me pack me lock in the lightning clap and the week I drop the sound come down. Earth get hot, earth is like a melting pot. Probably the cream and the crab and the bubbling tune is where is that? Play football in the need about to play cricket, you need a bat. Think of the tailor, the soul of the seller, the coming, the restaurant, nothing I don't know, catch up, love to me, catch up, better, such a bit more naturally. Make. Lord, me sing again, love. Oh, love, sweet love, it's the greatest thing. Love, oh, love,
sweet love.
You hear that,
It's the
man?
greatest
Chant,
thing
chant,
I
come on.
can love. Oh, love, sweet love.
Woo!
It's the greatest
Who we?
thing in the world.
Who we? Who we?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
try
One more time. Love, oh, love.
We are the
sweet
children.
love.
Sweet love around
It's
the
the
world.
greatest thing. Love, oh, love, sweet love. It's the greatest thing again. Love, oh, love, sweet love. It's the greatest thing in the world.
Blessings, infinite blessings, raining blessings, trickling blessings.
Thank you to our translator. Much love.
Yes, for our signer. Thank you so much. And thank you for all for tuning in. We'll see you guys soon.
Oh, love, sweet love. There's the go.